Thank you very much, Alex, and welcome to the NCAA Softball Regional Championships presented by Capital One. It is Elimination Saturday here in Knoxville. Virginia and Tennessee trying to eliminate the chance of playing an elimination game later on tonight. The winner advances to the championship game on Sunday. Loser still has more softball to play today. Both of these teams played highly competitive games last night. Tennessee tied 1-1 going into the sixth, escaped an upset at the hands of Northern Kentucky, and Virginia 3 times coming back from down multiple runs against IU, winning in extra innings. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside my partner, 2-time All-American Amanda Scarborough with you. Thrilled for this 3-game day here in Knoxville. And Amanda, if last night is any indication, we had 13 one-run games across the country. We're in store for some awesome softball today.
Yeah, all those one-run games, a lot of 2-run games, a ton of walk-offs. I mean, we had both of those things here at our regional alone. And in those close games, you want to be able to rely on a deep pitching staff. And that's what we see from the number 7 national seed in Tennessee. They have the deepest pitching staff in the country. It's what's led them so far this year. And they have Carlin Pickens, the senior, the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, the All-American waiting in the wings. They've used her a lot in relief. Sage Marjecko, the junior, who has a sub-1 ERA, will get the start today against Virginia. And we saw Erin Newer pitch a complete game win last night against Northern Kentucky, a close game, and she was absolutely nails. They have a sophomore, junior, and senior to round out this pitching staff that has a 1.3 ERA, the best ERA in the country.
And they have 2 starting pitchers with a sub-1 ERA, both of them top 3 in the country. One of those is Sage Marjecko, who will get the start today for Tennessee against a Virginia team whose bats were an issue during a 7-10 slide in April. They weren't an issue last night. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Cavaliers.
And they out-hit Indiana, one of the nation's best offenses. We're talking a lot about Indiana's offense, but it was all Virginia last night. They had those 8 hits. Indiana just had 5. They had 3 home runs, 2 off the bat of Jade Hilton and 1 from Madison Green. And they had a walk-off hit by Reagan Hickey, a redshirt freshman.
We expect the highly competitive winners bracket game here today. Virginia trying to make a regional final against the national seed. Who will it be? First pitch is next in Knoxville.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
The sun is shining over the beautiful Sun Sphere here in downtown Knoxville as we welcome you back to Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. Time now to take a look at the Virginia Cavaliers starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. Led at the top by one of the best leadoff hitters you will find in the country. Jade Hilton found her swing last night, hitting 2 homers, and she's now homered in her last 4 hits. will take on Sage Marjecko, who is #2 in the country this year with a sub-1 ERA, which led the Southeastern Conference. And the first pitch is a strike called by our home plate umpire, Brian Crochet.
Already a great matchup right out of the gate. Sage Marjecko likely to be an All-American this year. Jade Hilton, an All-American in her career. And Jade Hilton, what a big swing that she had last night in her first home run. Indiana got out to a hot start, put 3 runs on the board. Virginia looked a little bit on their heels to start the game, made several errors. And then Jade Hilton came up and hit a home run to quickly tie it. Not her first at bat, but in her second at bat. And I felt like that swing that Jade Hilton had took pressure off the rest of the Virginia hitters throughout the game.
Goes after the 1-2. Strikeout for Marjecko on the throw up by Elsa Morrison, 1 down.
Sage Marjecko really has some great swing and miss stuff. She has 3 different pitches that she has high swing and miss rates on. She can move the ball down, up, side to side, change speeds. I mean, truly, Sage Marjecko can do it all. She varies her speed with great spin. Her hardest pitch is her drop ball at 68 miles an hour. But her curve and her rise, she spins very well too, and she'll spin those pitches in at 64. So a good variation in speed and spin. Sage Marjecko finally healthy in her junior year after hip labrum surgery in the offseason, and she's looking like the pitcher that we heard about her earlier in her career, freshman and sophomore years.
Lacey Eaton, a first-team All-ACC recipient this year, batting average up over 100 points from a year ago. What a nasty pitch by Marjecko for the second strike.
46 miles an hour. Just think about that. Her drop is 68, 69. And then she floats that bad boy in there at 46. I mean, just 20 miles an hour difference.
And that's one of the marks of this staff, too, is it not just the way they're able to mix speeds, mix pitches, hit both sides of the plate, work up and down in the zone. Such a versatile Lady Vols pitching staff. Bouncing ball to first, fielded by Mackenzie Butt, 1 down.
Each of the pitchers on this Tennessee pitching staff give a different look. You have somebody like Sage Marjecko, who can really vary her speeds and drop in that 46-mile-an-hour changeup. You have somebody like Carlin Pickens, who is the hardest thrower in our entire game, not just at the college level, but really any pitcher in the United States and in the world. I mean, she's chasing 80 miles an hour, Carlin Pickens is. So think about how she's warming up right now, can come in at any time. And these hitters not only have to deal with a 46-mile-an-hour changeup, but then Pickens comes in and she's hitting 77, 78 miles an hour. Speeds that you just don't normally see in our game. And this Tennessee pitching staff is so good with their ERA, some of the best ERAs individually and, of course, as a team.
Cabral lines it down the left field line. Should be playable, and it's caught in foul territory by Alana Leach. Sage Marjecko makes quick work of the Virginia top 3. Welcome back to Knoxville, Tennessee, as we take a look at the Lady Vols starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. Lady Vols bats have been a bit of an issue over the last 10 games, but they got timely hitting last night, particularly from Elsa Morrison with that go-ahead home run in the 6th. And it was a pair of home runs for Karen Weekly's team that ultimately helped them edge out a plucky mid-major in Northern Kentucky, avoiding the upset. And they'll try to do it again today against Eden Bigham, who is no stranger to pitching in the postseason or here in Knoxville. Threw against Tennessee just a couple of years ago here in Knoxville, and also picked up 2 wins against the Miami, Ohio Redhawks that year as well.
One of the best pitchers to ever wear a Virginia uniform. We've seen her for 4 years now and just have over 60 career wins, pitch in big games for Virginia. She did not get the start yesterday. We did see her in relief getting the start here today in the winner's bracket game.
Taking on Sophia Knight, who has been one of the more consistent bats all year for Tennessee, transferring in the offseason. And has hit .532 this year when leading off an inning. One of the great table setters in the SEC.
We saw Virginia play some very big defensive shifts in yesterday's game.
And Hilton's throw off the mark. They're going to say that the first baseman, Macy Eaton, was on the bag, and immediately Tennessee is going to challenge this, it appears.
Yeah,
looks like she's way off the bag.
Well off the bag. That was jarring. It was such an obvious call on the field when it happened, and I think Karen Weekly is going to not even want to use a review, but ask the first base umpire to ask for help instead, knowing that it was so obvious what happened at first base that surely one of the 3 other umpires outside of first base saw it. So she does not have to use a review for this play, and they're going to just get it right on the field.
And that will go down as an error against Jade Hilton. And now 4 errors on the Virginia Cavaliers since the beginning of this tournament. Line into right field off the bat of Alana Leach. Up to second goes Knight.
Alana Leach hunting something early in the count. Look at her get her barrel to this pitch up and in on her hands against Eden Bigham. She's more of a rise ball pitcher. She has been her whole career. So Tennessee is going to be looking up in the zone, looking to keep their hands above these rise balls that Bigham is going to bring in. She'll also work in a curveball and a changeup. Kind of a 3-pitch mix that Bigham will throw: rise, curve, and changeup.
Elsa Morrison was a hero in yesterday's game against NKU with that home run in the 6th. Lines this into the gap in right center. Down for extra bases. Will score Knight. Here comes Leach. Relay throw home is in time to get Leach. But Knight does score, giving the Lady Vols an early lead.
You see how aggressive Tennessee is being early in the count, finding these holes in the outfield. Elsa Morrison, first strike that she sees, she likes it, but a great throw in.
Tennessee is challenging the call at home plate. The following play is under review.
That was call on the relay to Hickey at home, who's able to make the tag. Watching it live, I thought that they got her. It was bang, bang, but right here happening in front of us, I thought the tag got there before her hand touched the plate. Should tell us.
What a slide.
Great, getting so small into the back of home plate. Look at how close she is to the ground. Her arm just sliding along the ground, her fingertips getting there to home plate. I like the umpire who made the call, thought that she was out, but seeing that replay, I think she's going to be safe and this is going to get overturned.
you and everyone else in Sherry Parker Lee Stadium.
Oh my goodness. That still was such a great relay in, but Alana Leach going hard to the very back point of the plate to try to make herself small and more difficult to tag, and it absolutely paid off.
Boy, some well-struck balls here by Alana Leach and Elsa Morrison. And that was one of the big question marks coming into the NCAA tournament for Tennessee. Could the bats...
The relay in, so Green to call. That is a perfect throw home, but an even better slide by Leach. I mean, you can't play that relay any better off the wall. A bang-bang play, but Leach barely gets in there.
Could the bats wake up? They hit 225 over the last 10 games. Did the Lady Vols. That included yesterday in the 3-1 win over NKU. They have done a lot of mixing and matching in the batting order. Again, flipping some things around today under head coach Karen Weekly, looking for that right combination for a team that for so much of the year was ranked the #1 team in the country. About a third of their season, they were atop the NCAA softball rankings.
Yeah, one of these teams that coming into the season you thought was going to be a national championship contender, and you saw the way that they pitched in February. They hit like crazy in February, scored a ton of runs, played so loose and free. And then after February, their bats started to go a little bit cold. In March and April, their pitchers kept doing their thing and pitched so consistently throughout the year. But the offense of Tennessee has been the big question mark this year in the last couple of months.
Feels like a lengthy review here, given the looks that we've seen.
Totally agree.
Meanwhile, for Virginia, they found themselves in a 3-0 hole in the first inning yesterday against Indiana. 3 times came back, ended up winning that game in extra innings. Familiar territory for the Hoos. We have a conclusion to the call.
After review, the call on the field is changed. The runner is safe. Tennessee still has 2 challenges remaining.
And so a 2 RBI extra base hit for Elsa Morrison. Boy, as the freshman flashed early in Knoxville this weekend.
Moved her up in the lineup from yesterday's game. She was hitting the 7 hole yesterday, moved her all the way up to the 3 hole. And it was yesterday that Karen Weekly in the post-game press conference said that she felt like her team just found a way to stay tough and figured out a way to win. I mean, Northern Kentucky in that 1 versus 4 matchup to start the regional yesterday gave them quite a fight. Alicia Flores for Northern Kentucky pitched really well, but Karen Weekly felt like they struggled to get leadoff runners on and also to have good at-bats with runners on. It felt like there was hesitation in their swings, didn't like what she saw when runners were on base, and you're seeing the complete opposite swings and approach and hesitation from them early in this game with Leach and Morrison crushing pitches early.
Dangerous spot here for Eden Bigham. Middle of the order for Tennessee. Ella Dodge coming to the plate. Runner in scoring position, 2-run deficit, still no outs. They're in the bottom of the first.
When Karen Weekly was kind of talking about that hesitation with their at-bats with runners on, she said instead of being in a yes mindset and then holding up the barrel, we were in a, is it my strike? Oh, yeah, it is.
Dodge to first, played by Eaton. Over to third goes Morrison after the first out.
Kind of looking like that. Weak contact, not being on time. Felt like her hitters were a little bit behind, unsure of themselves, and that's why that Leach and Morrison hard hit ball swings stuck out so much, because Tennessee did not really crush the ball like that with the exception of the 2 home runs that they had in yesterday's game.
Emma Clark, one of a handful of sophomore starters for Tennessee. It is a younger team than they have had in recent years. Graduated a handful of starters from last year's team, which reached the Women's College World Series semifinal. One of the things that Karen has said about this team and their youth is that they are eager to get better. Bella Cabral making sure the head coach is all right after that scorcher.
It hit off, I hope, the bottom of her foot and not, her shin or her ankle. That was 78 miles an hour off the bat, hitting Karen Weekly.
Warrior. She ain't coming off the field. Her team started 26-0 this year. Best start in program history. Multiple ranked victories over that stretch. Closed the regular season winning their last 4 SEC series, including a series win over top overall seed in this tournament, Alabama. Then had that early exit, a shocker to Ole Miss. It was one and done for the Lady Vols in the SEC tournament. But they have rebounded so far early in the NCAA tournament here in Knoxville.
You mentioned that series to Alabama. They got run rolled right here on their home field and then came back to win game 2 and 3 of the series to win that series. I mean, but talk about resiliency.
Oh, what an eye by Clark, taking the 3-2 and a walk. So runners at the corners with one down as Gabby Leach comes to the plate. Virginia has not turned many double plays this year, just 19 coming into the NCAA tournament.
You see Eden Bigham using that changeup a little bit more, noticing that Tennessee's swings were looking on plane for her rise ball early in the count. So Joanna Harden coming out and talking to her in the infield, changing things up already with their pitch calling. Say probably let's use your changeup a little bit more early in the count. When you work your rise ball, it has to be a little bit more up and out of the zone like that last pitch. And even though that wasn't a strike, it still serves a good purpose to change their eye level to be able to go back down with something like her changeup.
Oh, upstairs. Last pitch got close. That one did hit Gabby Leach. And now the bases are loaded for Tennessee in the first. Not the start that Eden Bigham was probably anticipating today. She was so good in last year's regional. A couple of complete game shutout victories against Miami. Struggled with Tennessee in the regional final. But by and large, back in that 2024 regional, was sensational in the circle for Virginia. And now takes on Mackenzie Butt. In the air down the right field line. Could be trouble. Long way to go for Green. It drops and will score 1. A 3-0 lead for Tennessee on the RBI single by Butt.
Hard hit balls and then a little bit of luck with this one off the bat of Butt. It is hit off the very end of the bat and finds the right field line by about half a foot. Only 1 run scores for Tennessee because those runners had to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught in the air before they could run.
Now that time the shift hurt Virginia with Madison Green playing off her normal line, and here they are again with the same shift.
Virginia has now had slow starts in both games here. They gave up 3 runs to Indiana in the first inning in yesterday's game. They were hurt by errors as well in that inning. There was an error to start this inning by Jade Hilton at shortstop. So a familiar position for Virginia to be in this situation early in the game.
One-two count to Taylon Holly. The difference, though, when you play a Tennessee team and you start to give up 3, 4, 5 runs early, given their pitching staff, that can feel insurmountable.
So true. So true. They're so tough, and this is how good their pitching has been, right? When they score 3 or more runs since 2024, they're undefeated.
I don't know if their opponents know that going into games, but if you do, how deflating, Amanda.
Just hard to generate runs off of this elite pitching staff that just does not rely on one pitcher. They're so deep.
Already in this game, we have seen a different level of sharpness and edge to the Lady Vols offense. They were 2 for 9 yesterday with runners in scoring position. Already today, 2 for 3 and threatening with the bases loaded. And Holly putting together a tough AB here.
Yeah, a lot of tough at-bats that Eden Bigham is having to work through early in this game. Work around an error, a walk, a hit by pitch, some hits scattered in there. It's just not been an easy inning for her at all, but you have to think if you're Virginia, you're still just 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
8th pitch of the at-bat misses upstairs. That walks in the 4th run of the game for Tennessee. And we are going to have a visit to the rubber here, potentially a pitching change for Virginia. With still the bases loaded and just the 1 out in this first inning. The freshman Taylor Smith, who we saw last night for Virginia in their extra inning win over Indiana, will come in here in the bottom of the first, down 4 in Knoxville. Karen Weekly's got to feel real good about the way her Lady Vols bats have come out here in Game 2 of the regional. Last 10 games, they were averaging the 19th worst runs per game average in Division I, just 2.5 runs per game over their last 10. Today, they have scored 4 in the opening inning and threatened with the bases loaded and 1 down. They have knocked Virginia's starter out of the game, at least for now. Eden Bigham sits as Taylor Smith comes in with little room for error. Had 3 walks and 3 innings of work last night against Indiana, but has nowhere to put Bella Faw here.
She looked really good last night. I mean, with the exception of the command issues at times. Taylor Smith, the freshman, I know that Joanna Harden and his Virginia coaching staff, they're really excited about what Taylor Smith brings in the circle. It is going to be about her finding the strike zone, though, with the bases loaded. Really good stuff, can bring it at 68 miles an hour with her curve, oftentimes go with her rise at about 64 miles an hour.
Despite the 3 walks, did not allow a hit or a run. Struck out 6 in the comeback win over the Hoosiers, who will play later on today in our first of 2 elimination games against Northern Kentucky. 2-1 to Fall. Good pitch from Smith.
Well, those are the chases that she can get with that rise ball, and it's why Joanna Harden is really excited about Taylor Smith. I mean, she was a pivotal part in their win last night to help out the seniors Courtney Lane and Eden Bigham, and to close out the game and the win for UVA.
2-2, handcuffs Faw. That will get out of play. Well, she has been among the sharpest pitchers in the conference over the last week or two. Just 1 earned run over her last 13 1/3 innings pitched. That included a 5-inning no-hitter against NC State at the end of April.
And Coach Harden said about Taylor Smith, she will be in high leverage situations all weekend. I don't think that they thought that there would be such a high leverage situation already in the first inning, and having to bring her in, definitely messing up the pitching plan likely for UVA today.
2-2, foul. We alluded to it earlier. This is not a defense that's turned a plethora of double plays, but boy, would you love to get one here with the top of the order looming again for Tennessee. Ninth pitch of this at bat to Faw. And time by the Virginia catcher Reagan Hickey.
I don't know if time is going to be granted for her again. Let's see what happens here. Just looks like there's some communication device battery situation going on here as Reagan Hickey trying to get the sign in from the dugout on her watch, or I don't know the technical term, that the pitch pops up on her wristband. Looks like it's not working.
Looked like they may have just swapped it out, gotten her a new one. 2-2 is foul.
Everybody's doing the pitch calling a little bit different, because sometimes the pitch will just pop up on what looks like an Apple Watch. That looks like kind of an old-fashioned, matrix of maybe she hears it in her ear and she looks down at 2-3 or 4-1 or whatever it is that is radioed in. And
it's a high-tech world we live in now. Back in your All-American days, you were just getting the numbers flashed to you, right?
Yeah. The good old-fashioned way. Now there's all this technology. You can see the armband on the pitcher as well. She'll look down to see the sign and want to make sure that the catcher is on the same page, of course.
This is a crazy at-bat here for Faw. It's going to go at least 11 pitches to the 9-hitter for Tennessee. 6 straight foul balls by the starting shortstop. Bases still loaded here in what has already been a 4-run first for Tennessee. Full count.
I mean, what a great at-bat by Bella Faw out of the 9-hole. First at-bat that Taylor Smith is facing here, and she's seen everything that Taylor Smith has to offer to give Tennessee a deep look at this freshman entering the game.
Payoff from Smith. Faw up the middle. Could it be 2? Flip to second. Yes, from Hilton. Throw is not in time at first. And immediately Macy Eaton looking into the dugout, wondering if Joe Harden should challenge this. It would be a huge call if it did get reversed, and they are going to challenge the safe call at first.
Virginia is challenging the play at first base. The following play is under review.
it's worth a challenge, but it's not going to get overturned. And God, that had double play potential written all over it.
Just took a little too long on that exchange at second base.
It was the toss from Hilton to second base that really was the difference of her being safe and out at first base. I think that she was safe at first, but here's the toss. It was almost in slow motion. Look how just a little bit of a lob, and you can see Alex Call almost just like waiting for the ball to get to her, covering second. Second mistake, really, by Jade Hilton in this inning. One went down as an error to start off this inning, and that won't go down as an error, but that is a mistake because they should have turned two there.
Rare for the multi-time All-ACC shortstop, All-American last year. Here's another look at it. It was close, but you can clearly see where the cleat hits the bag before the ball is in the mitt of Macy Eaton. And assuming this call is confirmed on the field, Tennessee's monster first inning will continue. Here's Megan Rabin.
After review, the call is confirmed. The runner is safe. Virginia has one challenge remaining.
So it's an RBI for Bella Faw. And the bases, runners rather, now at first and third base as Sophia Knight will come to the plate. And remember, she got this whole inning started by reaching on a throwing error from Jade Hilton. Led off the inning 32 minutes ago. And if you can remember back to last night, which seems like a year ago now, it was the first inning that gave this Virginia defense fits against Indiana. Cabral goes to first, and that will do it for the Tennessee bid in the first. Lady Vols plate 5, and they carry a 5-run lead into the second in Knoxville.
Who's going to get to Oklahoma City? We are into the postseason.
Mayhem continues all weekend long on ESPN, ESPN2, the U, SEC Network, and ACC Network, and as well on the ESPN app with our excellent 7 innings live crew. SEC went 12-0 to start the tournament. Most wins without an opening round loss in history. 6 walk-off wins we saw already in this tournament, tied for the second most in a single day in this tournament. 5 of those games went to extra innings, including Virginia and Indiana last night. The parity of the sport has never been better.
I stayed up way too late last night.
You and me both.
Watching UCLA and Cal Baptist deep into the night in LA, and Cal Baptist sure did give UCLA a scare. They scored 10 runs in one inning in LA against UCLA, and they took the lead. I mean, it was 11-7 Cal Baptist lead, and UCLA made a comeback in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. It was one of those walk-offs.
Sage Margetko looked crisp in the opening inning. 1, 2, 3. It was a 9-pitch inning, and she comes back here with her second strikeout of the game.
And if she's going to continue to get these chases down in the zone, she does not need to bring these pitches up. This is her second strikeout in the game. Gets Hickey to chase down with the drop ball well out of the zone, but that has 11 inches of down break to it from Sage Margetko with her drop ball.
This is low to Hannah Weismer.
Well, you've seen just a really dominant Sage Margetko this year, Matt. She started her career at South Carolina and then transferred over to Tennessee after her freshman year and had an above 2 ERA her freshman and sophomore years. But always, when you heard the South Carolina coaching staff talk about Sage Margetko, when you heard Karen Weekly talk about her, they raved about her spin and the movement of her pitches and how she can throw every pitch in each quadrant. She's just so well-rounded. But what we didn't know until this year was that she was pitching with a partially torn and at some times in her career fully torn hip labrum in her left hip. So, of course, that was going to hurt her results and ability to go deep into games. And this year, we're seeing a 100% healthy Sage Margetko, and the numbers are just crazy. I mean, 5 shutouts, most in her career, 7 complete games, most in her career, most strikeouts in a season. You're really seeing what she's really capable of.
Until this year, really hadn't felt herself since her junior year of high school. Had been dealing with, at minimum, discomfort and worst case, lots of pain, debilitating pain, to the point where she would pitch and not know how she was going to wake up feeling the next day. Had surgery in June, began to throw lightly in the fall, and around mid-December, early January was back to 100%. And you said it, Amanda, her numbers this year have been gaudy. Gets a slow roller to third. Dodge flips to first. 2 gone.
Well, in her words, it's just a sense of security, you know, having that hip labrum repaired and rehabbing it, not even really being able to throw 100% until very end of December or January going into season, which is a quick turnaround when you've not been pitching at 100% full to go into your junior season and put up the numbers that she has put up this entire season.
Strike 1 to Alex Call. Bigger picture, her health for this pitching staff of Tennessee has been monumental. Think about all the innings last year Carlin Pickens had to throw, particularly in the postseason. Now you've got a healthy Sage Margetko. We saw Aaron Newer last night. We have not yet seen Carlin Pickens in this tournament. Oh, what a pitch. Nasty from Margetko. Her 3rd strikeout. 6 up and 6 down for the Tennessee ace.
We asked Sage Margetko, what's your focus going into the postseason? She said her changeup. That was it right there. Froze Alex Call for her 3rd strikeout of the game.
Oklahoma City is again the home of the Women's College World Series. That is where all 64 teams who began the NCAA tournament yesterday are trying to get to. At the end of May and into early June, Tennessee, of course, was one game away from playing for a championship series last year after defeating Northern Kentucky last night. In the driver's seat in the winner's bracket, still to come, Northern Kentucky and Indiana in our first of two elimination games of the day here in Knoxville. Should this score hold, Virginia would slot into the second elimination game and face the winner of either NKU or Indiana.
Virginia needs a quick inning. They threw 40 pitches in that first inning. Tennessee just threw 12. And they need a quick 3-up, 3-down inning, or at the very least putting up a 0 here to give their bats some confidence.
The good news for Virginia is that Taylor Smith, aside from the free passes, has been nails in the circle. Did not allow a hit last night against a top 15 offense in the country. 3 innings of work against the Hoosiers. But if you're Virginia, Amanda, from my viewpoint anyway, it feels like, boy, you got to keep this a 5-run game to feel like you have a chance with your bats. And the way they swung them last night, certainly not out of contention in this game, but you have to keep it to 5 right now.
Shane Griffith okay out there in we lose kind of that left field foul line down by the Tennessee bullpen, so I didn't get a look at exactly what happened because we can't quite see it down there.
2-2 to Leach. That is the first Tennessee swing against Smith that has not resulted in a foul ball. Instead, it's a strikeout, 1 down.
They love Taylor Smith in this left-handed hitting matchup. Lefties going to yesterday's game, bat 134 off of her righties, bat 216. The slugging percentage against lefties is just under 200 compared to just under 500 for righties. So when you think about a matchup that Taylor Smith is more likely to dominate, it's these left-handed hitting matchups for her, something that they've been preparing for, the coaching staff for Virginia for the past 3 weeks, anticipating that they were going to have be sent here for regionals, and knowing that Tennessee had a lot of lefties, they've been preparing Taylor Smith for this matchup for 3 weeks.
5 lefties in the Lady Vols starting lineup today. Morrison has been a sweet swinging righty so far in this tournament. Home run yesterday to put Tennessee in front of NKU in the 6th. Drove in 2 on a double earlier today and fouls off the 1-1.
Tell that Elsa Morrison is just seeing the ball really well, and some really free swings in yesterday's at bats, and doing the same thing already in this game with her double in the first inning. Just feeling free like a freshman, maybe a little bit naive, which can serve you well in the postseason of just not understanding the pressures and expectations just yet.
2-2 misses low. Well, she moved up today in the lineup to the 3 spot, where she has really excelled this year and where Tennessee has excelled with her in the 3 spot. They are 16-0 when she bats in the 3 hole. Lines that into the mid of Madison Green, 2 down.
Well, when Ella Dodge is in the 4 hole, it's a good thing for Tennessee as well, right?
I believe they're 14-0 when Dodge bats 4th. And we chatted with Karen Weekly about that. And she joked with us, you may have just given me something to run with here in this postseason.
Ella Dodge batted in the 3 hole yesterday and the 4 hole today, so changing things up a little bit as Tennessee and Karen Weekly continue to find that, or attempt to find that winning combination out on defense and also with their offensive lineup too.
It's something they've tinkered with quite a bit over the course of the season, not just here coming into the NCAA tournament. Really outside of their top hitter in Sophia Knight, their 9 hitter in Bella Faw, there has been wide variation 2 through 8 in the lineup for Tennessee this year.
About the importance of Virginia trying to get a quick 3 outs here, down by 5 runs, a long first inning where their pitchers threw 40 pitches, 2 outs down, 2 strike pitcher count here. This could be your chance.
"17 pitches so far in this inning for Taylor Smith. 2 down, bases clear, 5-run lead for Tennessee. 2-2 to Dodge. In the air to center, drifting over is Hudson, and there is your quick inning. 1, 2, 3 for Taylor Smith. And now Virginia will try to get some runs back. Bottom of their order due up next.
You think.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regional presented by Capital One. Busy day in Knoxville. Graduation, regionals. Virginia in a battle right now with Tennessee. We're now joined by head coach Joanna Hardin. Coach, appreciate your time. Everybody in the country knows this Tennessee pitching staff is vaunted How do you guys start to whittle away at this deficit here over the next few innings?
You got to chip away, chip away. We got to swing at the pitch we're looking for with the right swing. We had a few of those and just a little chase, but, you know, it's just like one at a time, you know, one swing at a time, one quality at bat at a time, and just kind of, yeah, chip your way, work back into it.
Coach, a walk-off win for you guys last night. What did you say to the team after the game?
I said, rest up, get after it. You know, we're coming here to win. We didn't come to just show up and have fun and wave to our fans. We came here to win at the regional, so we got to get some rest. It was hard. We had a lot of adrenaline after that, but we're not just happy to be here. We want to win it. So got some rest, and they got to sleep in this morning and got our scout going, and we're going to stay in it. You know, there's a lot of game left, so we know what we're up against, but we're not afraid of anything.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank
Good luck
you guys.
the rest of the way.
Thank you.
15 hours between the end of that extra inning winner last night for the Hoos and the start of first pitch today. That isn't a whole lot of time for rest and recovery. But if there's a team in this tournament that probably feels like they could mount a comeback, it is Virginia. Down multiple runs 3 separate times last night against IU. One of the top offenses in the country, and yet they did just continue to chip away. Sage Margetko, though, has looked nearly flawless. 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts for the Tennessee starters so far.
And Virginia's got to learn a lot about Sage Margetko this first time through. I'm sure they can't wait to get their second look off of her and get through this first time. Experience is so important just to see a pitcher that first time through.
Ooh. Boy, off-speed pitch hits Hudson in the helmet. And the first base runner is aboard today for Virginia.
And lucky for Hudson, this is the Margetko changeup that comes in at only 46 miles an hour. So hit her in the upper body, and she'll take first base. And you know what? Virginia will absolutely take that base runner, hit her shoulder and her helmet all in the same pitch.
Hudson was one of 3 Virginia starters to suffer injury this year. It's a Hoos team that has dealt with adversity around every corner seemingly this year. Now Madison Green at the plate. She is in the starting lineup this weekend for an injured outfield starter in Kelsey Hackett. But despite all that adversity, despite some of the tough breaks, they managed to get into the NCAA tournament. One of 8 ACC teams playing in a regional this weekend.
You think about this core group of seniors that Virginia has had a part of its program, Virginia natives, and have either been starters their whole career or worked their way eventually into the starting lineup, and have just been one of the best classes to ever come through this Virginia program. So when they entered the season, this season, they had expectations and hopes and goals of potentially grabbing a top 16 national seed. Began the season ranked in the top 25. They really wanted to host and looked solid in February and into March. And then they had a really challenging April with those injuries and losing games and losing series and ACC play.
They won 21 of their first 22 games, Amanda, and you're right. At that point, this team was inside the top 20. One of those wins came against Arkansas, who's hosting a regional this weekend in Fayetteville. Had one of the best pitching staffs all year in the ACC. Good pitch from Margetko on the 2-2, her 4th strikeout.
So this is her 4th strikeout and on a different pitch than we've seen for the first 3. This is her curveball, paints the outside corner, and you can just see that tight spin coming out of her hand. Her spin is so good on her rise, drop, and curve. All 3 of those pitches get good swings and misses.
One of my favorite things that we get to do during the regional is sit down with players from each team. Margetko was one of the Lady Vols that we got to sit with. And you asked her about the development of her pitching. One thing she has been, in her words, obsessed with is spin. Ever since she can remember, but particularly starting in 7th grade.
Well, she was lucky enough to have a pitching coach in high school named Nancy Evans. Nancy Evans was an Arizona all-time great player. She coached there, won national championships. That was her pitching coach growing up. Now Nancy Evans is the pitching coach at Ole Miss for the past couple of years. So we didn't see Nancy Evans coaching the collegiate game for a while after she left Arizona. And what was she doing? Well, she was coaching Sage Marjecko, and I'm sure many, many other pitchers and pitching lessons. And Nancy Evans was a big part of her having this perfect spin.
First base hit of the day for Virginia comes off the bat of the freshman Jaden Griffith in the 9 spot.
Jaden Griffith had a great game in the 9-hole in yesterday's game against Indiana. She was 2 for 3, came up with some clutch hits, slaps this one, goes up and gets a rise ball. Great barrel control by Jaden Griffith, but because of that hit by pitch, Virginia now has 2 on to turn over the order to the hot-hitting Jade Hilton, who had 2 home runs in yesterday's game.
You mentioned the senior class for Virginia doing what had never been done before. Remember, when this Virginia senior class came here as freshmen, UVA had made just 1 NCAA tournament appearance in its program's history. And now Jade Hilton and company have been part of 3 straight trips to the regional. Their faithful 5. And so many of them with Virginia roots. Playing for the flagship program. Hilton, one of those Virginia natives from Martinsville, had a monster first game of her NCAA tournament. Pair of home runs last night against Indiana.
Jade Hilton being their all-time home run leader, big-time RBI producer. She was the first All-American at Virginia in over 20 years. Has had a tremendous career, such a big impact on this program, and a Virginia native herself.
Joe Harden looked at us yesterday or 2 days ago when we chatted with her and said it's very likely that she will have her number retired in the near future because of what she has meant to this program and all that she has done statistically in her time at UVA. Goes down looking. 5th strikeout for Marjecko.
Sage Marjecko just freezes Jade Hilton. That's just like a fastball in the inner half, about a ball on the plate, and Jade Hilton maybe expecting something slow and away. She goes hard in to get that strikeout. That's a huge out for Marjecko with 2 on.
Just feels to me, Amanda, being up here first 2 2/3 for Marjecko. All of her pitches are working. Good block behind home by Elsa Morrison. Ball 2.
I think it's so important for Virginia to find a way to put the ball in play against Tennessee. It's been one thing that the Tennessee team has been working on since the SEC tournament.
This is in play and deep to right. Back on it, Leach. See you later, a 3-run bomb. Macy Eaton with a jolt for the Hoos.
That's exactly what happened with Virginia in yesterday's game. They got down, and then second time through the order, there was a 3-run home run to chip away at the lead. Macy Eaton has just had such a big junior year. The top of this Virginia lineup is so tough. They're the RBI and run producers. Macy Eaton has Jade Hilton's back after that strikeout, puts up a 3 spot quickly off of one of the best pitchers in the country.
It is rare to score 5 or more runs against Tennessee, but not unheard of. You alluded to it earlier, Amanda, just a couple of weeks ago on this field. Alabama beat Tennessee 12-0 in a run rule victory. 1-1 to Cabral.
Bottom of the order for Virginia in yesterday's game continued to find different ways to get on base and score a lot of runs. 8 and 9 batters for Virginia last night were 3 for 5 with a home run.
And their 9-hitter today, Jaden Griffith, got the rally started, put runners aboard for Macy Eaton.
Macy Eaton, her 13th home run of the year. Virginia needed that second time through the order. They're seeing Margeco better, and they capitalized with 2 runners on to make it 5-3.
There is nothing like the Women's College World Series.
Cannot wait for this year's Women's College World Series beginning May 28th. ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2, and all the way through Oklahoma City. You can catch 7 innings live, which will give you all the best live action on the ESPN app. You can see every game, every big moment on the road to crowning a national champion.
A lot of credit to our fellow friends. Chris Budden and Alyssa Lang will be hopping in there, and Tori Vidalis and Tara Henry working hard and doing a great job covering all 16 sites. I mean, that is a tough job for 7 innings live. They know a lot about all 64 teams. It's a tough job.
Providing whip-around coverage all day long for many hours on the air. Live look-ins at games all across the country. This will tail foul off the bat of Emma Clark. And if you're just joining us here in Knoxville, a 5-run first inning for Tennessee. Hit through the lineup. And Virginia getting 3 runs back in the top of the 3rd, thanks to a 3-run bomb by Macy Eaton. Taylor Smith back in the circle for the Hoos. 1-1.
Interested to see how Virginia's pitching plan plays out. And a lot will be dictated with the Tennessee at-bats, but Taylor Smith and how deep she can go into this game. You mentioned the quick turnaround and how much she pitched last night, and just really pressure-filled, high-intensity, high-leverage innings late in the game against Indiana. So a lot was put on her as a freshman late in that game.
This is crushed deep left field. Forget about it. A bomb off the scoreboard. Emma Clark puts another run on the tally for Tennessee.
Number 13, Emma Clark, her 12th of the year.
Twelfth home run of the year for Clark, second in as many days for the Lady Vols starting second baseman.
And she's had great at-bats. That was not a poorly located pitch at all, but just a great, even short swing, dare I say, by Emma Clark to get to that up and in pitch with her barrel. Hits off of the scoreboard, and Tennessee, great response after the Virginia 3-run home run to answer right back.
Mile high pop up in the infield off the bat of Leach, one down.
That was a pitcher's count, a 1-2 pitch that Emma Clark hit that home run on. And again, I didn't think it was too poorly located. I just thought that that was a great swing by Emma Clark, who has now had 2 home runs in this regional.
Third of the tournament for Tennessee, who again came in to the regional averaging 2.5 runs per game. Lined into the shift as Call was shading towards second base. 2 gone. Tennessee held to just 3 runs last night against Northern Kentucky. Already 6 here through 2 2/3. Holly up the middle, Call. Drifting makes the play, and a 1-2-3 for Smith after the home run by Clark to make it 6-3 Tennessee.
That was a quick response by Emma Clark in the solo home run, her 12th home run this season. I don't know what's happening in Knoxville, but the ball is leaving the yard all the time. Talking.
Back in Knoxville for our first winner's bracket game. It's Virginia and Tennessee. Lady Vols with a 6-3 lead as we enter the 4th. Karen Weekly joins us. Coach, offense was such a big conversation last 10 games of the season. You made some changes. Boy, it feels like the Lady Vols today are swinging freely. What have you liked so far today?
Just what you said, swinging freely. You know, it's a big thing with me. When you go, you go. Obviously, you have a game plan. You want them to lock into that plan. But the bottom line is if you go for a pitch, go all the way. You never know what's going to happen. Swing hard. You might hit it hard.
Coach, the second time through the order against Sage, what would you like to see from her second time through?
Yeah, I thought that last innings, things just looked a little off from the beginning. Looked like maybe she was placing it. Megan thought her timing was a little bit off. You know, getting behind, and that's what happened. Obviously, we give them a freebie there with the hit batter, and then we just seemed like we were working from behind, and she wasn't really attacking, and just things looked a little funny. So this inning, I want to see her get back to good old Sage, getting after it, pitching with conviction.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
That's a great point about getting behind. That home run she gave up to Macy Eaton, she was behind in the count 2-0, and then threw that ball over the middle of the plate. That Eaton took yard to make it a 5-3 game. Tennessee gets a run back And so Marjetko pitching with a 3-run lead here in the 4th.
I think it's going to be important for Virginia hitters to be aggressive early in the count against Sage Marjetko. Of course, just make sure that you're swinging at good pitches, understanding that this second time through, she did fall behind really for the first time in this game, and that Eaton at bat. But when you're facing a Tennessee pitching staff or a pitcher like Sage Marjetko, you really want to try to avoid 2 strikes. They are one of the best strikeout pitching staffs in the country, and they have the best opposing batting average against them with 2 strikes in the country. Sage Marjetko, Aaron Newer, Carlin Pickens, when they get 2 strikes against you, they 9 times out of 10 are going to shut you down because their stuff is so good with 2 strikes.
Oh. Knee buckler just out of the zone from Marjetko. Taking on Reagan Hickey, Hannah Weismer, Alex Call. This section of the lineup struck out twice, first time through.
And thinking and digging into the numbers against Sage Marjetko, in pitchers counts, hitters are hitting 070 off of her. In hitters counts, hitting 266. And this is why you don't want to have to hit with 2 strikes, because off of Marjetko, 061 opponent batting average. That is the best in the country with 2 strikes.
What a pitch. 6 strikeouts for Sage.
Half of them have been looking. Drops her changeup in there, just a beauty. Mid-40s, freezes Hickey, who has now struck out twice against Marjetko. Good rebound to go right at her.
You just saw Carlin Pickens warming up in the bullpen. She's had to go down there a few times over the last 2 games because we've yet to see her get game action. And she joked with us 2 days ago, that's the beauty of having a staff, a true staff this year. She threw well over 200 innings last season. This year has kept it well below that. Thanks to Aaron Newer, Sage Marjetko, and the deepest and best pitching staff in the country.
I mean, think about that. We are in day 2 of regionals, and a 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year has yet to pitch. That's not even about her. That's about Sage Marjetko and Aaron Newer having such an incredible year. A lot of confidence in Carlin Pickens to come in relief. That's how they've really used her since the end of April. So I expect to see her at the end of this game.
She threw 226 2/3 innings last year. Of course, that took them all the way to the national semifinal. Just 115 innings pitched this season for Tennessee's lead ace. Ground ball to third. Dodge first, 2 gone. And that is the thing about this staff, Amanda. Any one of these 3 could be the ace at just about any other Power 4 program in the country.
Well, in a year full of offense, what a luxury that Tennessee has to have 3 different ace pitchers on their pitching staff when offenses are scoring runs and hitting home runs at a historic rate. I mean, so many teams would just absolutely die to have Tennessee's pitching staff. Imagine Tennessee's pitching staff with like UCLA's offense or Oklahoma's offense.
Yes.
Like 2 of the best home run hitting teams, or the best 2 home run hitting teams in the nation this year that just don't have Tennessee's pitching staff and have given up a lot of runs.
If you combine those 2 things, you may just become a dynasty. Go win something like maybe 4 national titles in a row.
We've seen it. I mean, we've known that Oklahoma has had a tremendous offense really since we got back from that shortened season in 2020.
Good piece of hitting here. That'll sail down and 1 hop into the mid of night. Alex Call is aboard for the first time.
Nice level swing here by Call, hitting a pitch that is out over the heart of the plate. Again, trying to avoid hitting with 2 strikes against Marjetko. 1-1 count, swinging early in the count, being aggressive.
Runner on 2 down for the lefty Hudson.
I think the second time through, Virginia really has had better at-bats against Sage Margetko, and that's what happens throughout the course of a game. You just have those looks. You're communicating more about her and what you see and the rhythm that you need to be in to get to her, what the best pitch is to hit off of her. Another 2-0 count here as Sage falls behind again, and that's why Megan Rhodes-Smith is going to come out and talk to her after a hard hit ball by Kalm and falling behind 2-0.
Megan Rhodes-Smith, one of the best pitching coaches in the country. Meanwhile, don't miss the NWSL Sunday night action on ESPN2. Portland going head-to-head with Angel City. Kickoff set 6 Eastern. Watch it live on ESPN2. And, of course, you can stream it all on the ESPN app. So much great action around the country this weekend. Regional play well into effect. You can catch all the action as well on the ESPN app. All the softball around the country. The winner of our Knoxville Regional will take on the winner out of Athens, hosted by the Georgia Bulldogs. And the winner of this game advances to Sunday's regional final. Loser finds themselves in the losers bracket. We will have a pair of elimination games coming up later on today here in Knoxville. Indiana and NKU first. Winner of that game will play the loser of this game between Tennessee and Virginia. Hudson rolls the 2-2 right side. Clark on to first, and that'll do it for Virginia in the 4th. 3-run lead for Tennessee. Lady Vols pick up the bats when we return. New format this year in the second season of the AUSL. 2 more teams. The collegiate draft coming up very, very soon. The season will begin in June. And Amanda, the talent pool is deep this year with all the collegiate draft picks going to the AUSL beginning June 9th.
A lot of big names all mixed in there, like the biggest names that are a star-studded senior class. I think it was hard for these teams to be able to choose from this senior class, because I feel like this is maybe the best senior class top to bottom that we've ever had. And the AUSL summer softball season will get started on June 9th. 6 different teams. They all have home fields and places. So Carlin Pickens was the overall #1 draft pick in the entire league, picked by the Carolina Blaze. And of course, she is from North Carolina. And that is where she was hoping that she was going to get drafted to. So she'll stay close by. North Carolina not too far away. And she was picked with 2 other players from the SEC to join her on the Blaze team.
Hit high, drifting back in left foul territory, caught by Griffith off the bat of Fall, 1 down.
Well, how great is it that you don't have to stop watching your favorite players once the Women's College World Series ends at the beginning of June, that you can just continue to follow them into the Pro League, and there's so many elite players in that league. I mean, you have Rachel Garcia and Megan Farimo and Erin Koffel, who was the MVP of the league last summer. Rachel Garcia. Did I say Rachel Garcia?
Yes.
I want to add her again because she can pitch and hit, so she's worth mentioning
Twice.
2 different times.
Good stick, it's short, and a better throw by Hilton, 2 down. Hilton was not drafted, but she's still hoping for an opportunity to play in the Pro League. It's been a dream of hers, the All-American last year for Virginia. And we'll see a new AUSL coach later on today in our regional. Shonda Stanton, the manager for Indiana softball, will coach the Chicago Bandits this year.
It's a good sign for Taylor Smith that the last 5 outs that she's thrown have come on 6 pitches. It's exactly what she's needed. There's been some long innings that Virginia has been on the dirt out on defense.
And Alana Leach's sister, Aubrey Leach, in the AUSL, also on the coaching staff for Tennessee. So many connections to that Pro League this weekend here in Knoxville.
There's Aubrey there with the hat on and constantly talking with the players inside the dugout, so she'll be teammates with Carlin Pickens.
The Leach family has such great ties to the Tennessee program, the Knoxville area. A great article in the Daily Beacon last month by Anna Reefer on just the Leach family roots in Tennessee, and they run deep. 4 sisters have played for this program. Of course, Alana and Gabby, twins in the outfield on this iteration of Lady Vols softball. Down goes Leach on strikes, so 1, 2, 3, 4th for Taylor Smith, giving Virginia a chance here as we go to the 5th in Knoxville.
Portable.
Sage Margetko had a great start for Tennessee, a quality start with 6 strikeouts on several different pitches. Drop ball was working, changeup was floating in there in the mid-40s, got one on her curveball and froze some of these hitters. She will pass the ball off to Carlin Pickens at this point, but a great start by Sage Margetko, the junior, no walks, and she looked really good in the circle. Virginia is going to have to adjust quickly to the speed of Carlin Pickens, a senior, the All-American, the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, coming at you in those long levers, 6'1", one of the best pitchers in the country and the hardest thrower in the country.
This is the first time since 2023 that Carlin Pickens has not pitched in the first game of a regional. In the air, left center, drifting over Alana Leach, and instead it's Sophia Knight making the catch, one away.
Carlin Pickens can really vary her pitches at this point in her career. Of course, her drop ball is going to be her fastest pitch, 75 to 78 miles an hour. Her rise ball, she can go up in the zone, taking a few miles an hour off of it. And she'll also work in a changeup, which even her changeup is 63 to 65 miles an hour, because with how hard she throws, that still takes 10 to 12 miles an hour off of her fastest pitches. So just think about that. Sage Margetko was throwing her changeup at 46 miles an hour, and Carlin Pickens throws hers between 63 and 65 miles an hour. That changeup needs to be on in order for her speed to be effective. At this point in her career, hitters have really caught up to her speed because they know about it. They're ramping up the machines, preparing for it. But the changeup is the difference maker to make that speed feel even faster than what they've prepared for.
She is fresh coming into this appearance against Virginia. Did not throw yesterday. And her last 6 appearances now, including today, have been out of the bullpen. We asked Karen Weekly about that, and she said, look, to your point, Amanda, at this point in the career, the book is out on her, the amount of innings that she's thrown. Back-to-back SEC Pitcher of the Year, back-to-back All-American, pitching deep into May and then into June. As she gets a strikeout of Griffith, 2 gone. But with as good as the rest of the staff has been this year, it's allowed her to come in. And how difficult is it, Amanda, to face the different speeds of Tennessee's Newer and Margetko and then see this from Pickens?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard whether she starts the game, middle reliever, closer. She's just a lot to deal with, but not having to use her as much is going to make her fresh, especially without pitching as much as what she did last year. And that is a miss, right? 76 miles an hour. That's a miss out over the heart of the plate. And because Virginia is going to be prepared for it, they're going to be able to still hit those mistakes. And even though she's throwing 76, 77, 78 miles an hour, she's just like every other pitcher. If she makes a mistake out over the heart of the plate, she is going to get hit.
Told you last week, she's gunning for 80. Broke the Guinness Book of World Records speed record already in her career. And now wants 80 miles an hour.
Well, the hardest pitch that she has thrown is 79.4, which was last year in Super Regionals against Nebraska. In fact, Jordy, then Ball, now Fromm, was up to bat. She had set a record 2 months before that of 78 point something, and that pitch was thrown against Bri Ellis, last year's National Player of the Year. When the moment gets bigger, so does Carlin Pickens.
Great snare at short and popping to make the throw. Bella Fall. Helps to have that kind of leather behind you too if you're Carlin Pickens. Pitches around a 2-out single. So many dominant senior pitchers whose careers are coming to a close this month. Nyjeri Kennedy, two-time National Pitcher of the Year, had Tech on the doorstep of a natty last year. Jordy Fromm, two-time national champ, most outstanding player of the Women's College World Series at Oklahoma. And of course, Carlin Pickens, two-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, back-to-back All-American, trying to lead Tennessee back to Oklahoma City.
Just careers that are historic and will be forever remembered at their respective programs. Of course, Nyjeri Kennedy and Jordy Fromm have played for two different programs. Carlin Pickens has stayed at Tennessee for her entire career. But Jordy Fromm looking to go to the Women's College World Series with two different teams, just like Nyjeri Kennedy did. Remember, she started her career at Stanford and then transferred to Texas Tech for her final 2 years, pitching them to be national runners-up last year, losing the finals to Texas. Three absolute stars in our game that have helped grow it. By the way, currently Ole Miss and Texas Tech are playing right now. Ole Miss beating Texas Tech 4-0 in the bottom of the fifth. Nebraska already won today against Grand Canyon. They'll be playing the winner's bracket game, 1 win away from Super Regionals tomorrow. They have to play in front of almost 4,000 fans in Lincoln today.
So much momentum for that Nebraska fan base right now. Trying to get to OKC.
Number 25, Ella Dodge.
They are deep. No question about that. One down for Ella Dodge. Try to bunt and foul.
Well, there's so many star senior players and stars all across our game, but just imagine a Women's College World Series with Carlin Pickens and Jordy Fromm and Nyjeri Kennedy at it.
That's the one you want to be at.
Well,
that's the Women's College World Series. Amanda Scarborough.
I'm going to be there no matter what. I know that my ticket is punched at this point. I got the email that said to book my travel. So I know that I'm going to be there, but I don't know who else is going to be joining us. But one thing I do know is that Oklahoma State, Tennessee, and Nebraska have been to the World Series the most times, still searching for their first national championship.
And Tennessee was on the door from making the Champ Series. 2 out of the last 3 years they've lost in the national semifinal.
Been so close, and I feel like with Karen Weekly and the job that she's done at this Tennessee program, winning supers, hosting regionals, making it to the World Series, All-American after All-American. I mean, that's just the one missing piece to this Tennessee program is that national championship.
Well, you've talked about this before, Amanda, just for so many programs, getting to Oklahoma City is the goal. And it can almost feel like the biggest achievement, but then once you get there, there's still the opportunity to win a national championship. It's just a very unique thing about this sport compared to other NCAA championships, to be a Final Eight, to make it to the World Series, and then to run through that and make a Champ Series. It is one of the grueling stretches of any championship run in any sport.
Well, and with it being a double elimination format, as Taylor Smith gets her third strikeout of her relief appearance, it gives you teams a chance to rebound, right? You might lose, you might have a bad game, you might kick the ball around or be off your game offensively, but because we have a double elimination format compared to March Madness, it's just one loss and you're out, it gives your team a chance to find themselves again. And I love that. I mean, it makes for more games for us to watch as fans, or regional weekend and super regionals and World Series wise. Think about the history that Pickens and Kennedy and Jordy Fromm have made. I mean, Jordy Fromm left Oklahoma, where she won 2 national championships, to go back home. She's from Nebraska. She wanted to play for the University of Nebraska. She left the Oklahoma program to go back to Nebraska to build up Nebraska's softball program to try to make it to the Women's College World Series with a lot of Nebraska-born players. And then, of course, for Nyjah Kennedy, she had the $1 million NIL contract to go from Stanford to play at Texas Tech. That was historic and making history with Texas Tech, making it to the Women's College World Series for the first time and making it to the finals. And then, of course, with Carlin, the history of her speed and velocity, chasing 80 miles an hour.
Two-one count here, 2 down to Emma Clark. Jordy Fromm and company have an opportunity to host a Super Regional for the first time in program history. Meanwhile, Virginia has never been to a Super Regional. This is just the program's 4th trip to the NCAA tournament, 3rd in a row for Joe Harden and company. What she and her staff have done to take this program to new heights, truly sensational. Smith just misses.
Look at Taylor Smith just being a difference maker in this game again, like she was last night when she entered into the game late against Indiana in a close game, back and forth game, gave her team a chance to win last night, that walk-off win.
Up the middle, that'll find grass. Emma Clark remains the only Tennessee Lady Vol with a hit today off Taylor Smith. She has a pair, including a home run back in the 3rd. This Virginia team told us maybe a couple of years ago when they got here in 2024, there was a feeling of, boy, we've made history already. And then they won. It was the first regional victory for the program. Long time. But there was also heartbreak that year, losing twice to Tennessee, 12-0 and 6-0. And the feeling amongst all the veterans coming into this weekend is we're here to win, not just here to be here and participate.
Jade Hilton talked about competitive greatness is a motto at Virginia, being your best when your best is required. We've seen that from Taylor Smith as just a freshman.
In the air to center off the bat of Gabby Leach. Going first to 3rd is Clark. Excellent base running by the Lady Vols' second baseman. And now runners at the corners as Gabby Leach plays a little cat and mouse over at first. 2-out rally mounting for Tennessee.
Yeah, that pitch was about a ball off the plate, and Gabby Leach just had great extension to go out and cover that outer half. Again, not a bad pitch location, but a good piece of hitting by Leach.
Chance to add some insurance here in the bottom of the 5th against a Virginia team that scored 8 runs on 8 hits yesterday against Indiana.
With Carlin Pickens entering the game, she's going to have a different look for the Virginia hitters that are going to face her. So they're all going to be kind of starting from scratch in their approach at the plate versus seeing Margette go for several at-bats earlier in this game. So they have to keep the score exactly where it's at. 3 runs against a pitcher like Carlin Pickens, being down by 3 runs late in the game is going to be tough. You don't want to extend the lead.
Runner goes in a rundown. Leach tagged. And I don't believe the run came across home. It did not. And so that keeps a potential 7th run off the board for Virginia. Great execution by the Hoos, trying to climb back in it in Knoxville.
So what's your speed goal at this point?
I mean, it's got to be 80.
I think it's in her future. It's going to come in a big moment against a big-time opponent.
Is it going to come here? Game still in the balance. Carlin Pickens with 2 of the fastest pitches in softball history, joining fellow Lady Vol Monica Abbott, now calling games for ESPN. Gets a roller over to second, bobbled, and still kept with by Emma Clark, 1 away.
Yeah, and then even her fastest pitch this year, because those 2 records that were set were back in 2025. And just as a reminder, the 78.2 was against Jordy Fromm in Super Regionals. The 79.4 was against Jordy Fromm in Super Regionals. The 78.2, the one before that, was against Brie Ellis, a National Player of the Year. So her fastest pitch this year, I was informed, was 78.5 against Alabama. Of course it was against Alabama, right? Overall number 1 national seed in this year's tournament. And again, just when the moment gets really big, Carlin Pickens has this adrenaline, competitiveness about her that brings out even more out of her. It's incredible. And you know what makes the speed feel even faster is the fact that she's 6'1". Long levers. Like the start that she has when she's going into her pitching motion is really wide. Gets out to the end of that circle, and so those long legs, her long arms, to me makes that pitch feel even faster and get on top of you just so quickly. Little reaction time.
There's a strikeout of Hickey. Second of the day for Pickens, 2 gone.
And there's this Carlin Pickens when she was younger with those long levers. Somebody that always, she told me, threw hard when she was a little kid, and that was her goal. I mean, every young pitcher has speed goals and velocity goals. And the thing that is really incredible, Matt, is that every mile an hour over 60 miles an hour is tough for a pitcher to get. Every mile an hour over 70, that milestone, feels almost impossible. So the fact that she is approaching 80 miles an hour truly is unheard of.
And it's coming at you from 43 feet away.
43 feet away.
No thanks.
Over 110 mile an hour fastball in MLB. That's like what it's equivalent to, right? With the reaction time.
Pickens ahead in the count here to Weismer. Working on a 3rd strikeout.
But there is that parallel. When we talked to Sage Marjeko, she was all about spin growing up, that perfect spin and leaning into that. And that was her game, her strength, her focus. For Carlin, it was her speed.
She told us the other day, look, I love blowing it by somebody. Gee, you think? But Karen told her freshman year, you have to love your changeup as much as your fastball, and you will be one of the best in the country. And she has been. Gives up a free pass here to Weismer, who held back on a check swing. And now a base runner with 2 down here in the 6th for Virginia.
She's really stepped up as a leader this year, and something that Karen Weekly said, she's always had these leadership capabilities, but just the situation and the other leaders in the Tennessee team just didn't really ask that much of her leadership-wise in her career. But this year, as a senior, she's really grown in that aspect of her game, too.
One of the few seniors and the only on the leadership council. The other 3 are sophomores. Plays back into that theme for Tennessee this year, a little bit younger on the whole than in recent years when Carlin has been the ace. Ball gets away from Morrison. And Weismer stays put at first.
She's just gotten a ton of attention with the velocity records really in the past couple of years. I mean, she's always been a star and a great pitcher since her freshman year, but these last 2 years, a ton of attention. And Karen Weekly just raves about how grounded she is and that she just has this great balance of confidence and humility. She knows what matters and what doesn't matter, and she's just a really loyal player in this Tennessee program.
Call hammers the 2-1 to left center. Yes, sir. Goodbye. It's a one-run game in Knoxville. Who's are not done yet. Just the 7th home run of the year for Alex Call, and it comes with 2 outs off Carlin Pickens.
Virginia just does not go away. Another home run off their bats as Alex Call just gets to contact, lets Carlin Pickens provide the power, and takes it over the center field wall. And a home run doesn't hurt you for Tennessee, but what does hurt you is the walk before the home run that was drawn by Weismer. And we talked to Carlin Pickens about what her focus was going into the postseason before this regional started. She said not giving up freebies, making them earn everything. So you know that that walk before the home run hurts her even more.
Working behind in the count to Cassidy Hudson. For as good as Carlin Pickens has been this year and throughout her career, this is now the 4th game in the last 7 she's allowed a home run.
Gosh, in these last 2 Virginia games, Indiana, Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, we have seen so many free passes come around to score off of the home run. I mean, hit by pitches have hurt these pitchers. Walks have hurt these pitchers. And offenses on the other side have taken advantage of the free passes that have been given to them.
2-2. There is just a fight and a grit to this Virginia team that they all spoke to us about this week entering the regional. A no-quit mentality. A stretch of their season where they felt like they couldn't buy a win. Lost 6 games in a row, got together, regrouped, swept their next series, and received an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Pickens battles back for a strikeout, her 3rd. But a 1-run game in Knoxville after a 2-run blast by Alex Call.
Competitive greatness is what Joanna Hardin talks about to these Virginia players. Being your best when your best is required. A hitter's count, and Alex Call hits a 2-run bomb.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
64 teams began the day chasing that trophy. By the end, we'll be down to 32. Virginia and Tennessee in our winner's bracket game here in Knoxville. Loser will fall into the elimination side of the bracket. Virginia trailed 5-0 after the first inning in this game and have just slowly but surely climbed and scratched and clawed their way back into this game after a 2-run bomb by the second baseman Alex Call off Carlin Pickens. This is set deep in the air. Mackenzie Butt. Oh yeah! Over the Smoky Mountain wall in left field.
Weekly knew that she needed to find a way to get Mackenzie Butt's bat into the lineup in the NCAA tournament, so shuffled some defensive players around to be able to put her at first base and get her stick in the lineup. A quick answer back after the Virginia 2-run home run. Mackenzie Butt hits a solo home run. The ball just continues to fly out of the ballpark here in Knoxville.
The last 2 times Virginia's hit a home run in this game, the very next batter for Tennessee has responded with a home run. Lady Vols, too, have played with some resilience this afternoon. 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Nobody out for Taylon Holly.
And really, Taylor Smith has not given up much, but the 2 runs that she's given up have been those solo home runs to lead off the inning. And look, that's something that Karen Weekly wanted to see better out of her team that she saw in yesterday's game against Northern Kentucky to start the regional. She said that they struggle to get leadoff runners on base early, and they've gotten 3 leadoffs on in this game. And in all 3 innings that they've gotten the leadoff on, they've scored in those 3 innings.
Meanwhile, here in the 9 spot, Meredith Barnhart will pinch hit for Bella Faw, the freshman from Parker, Colorado.
Meredith Barnhart.
Just want to give a quick update because we talked about it earlier. Ole Miss, Texas Tech is now in the top of the 7th, and Ole Miss is still up 4-0 against Texas Tech. So Tech going to be down to their final 3 outs in Lubbock.
Trying to avoid falling into the elimination bracket in their own regional. Ole Miss has been America's underdog the last 2 seasons. Think about what they did last year. Unseeded team making it to the Women's College World Series for the first time in program history.
So it's 2 World Series teams playing, or last year's World Series teams playing each other in regionals. Not an easy matchup with the way that Ole Miss has been playing down the stretch. But for Texas Tech, Nyjah Kennedy did start that game, pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. And then Sam Lincoln is now pitching in that game. And for Ole Miss, Emily Boyer has pitched so well, only given up 2 hits to like an All-American Texas Tech lineup that they've put together this year.
You can catch that game right now over on ESPN2, or of course, do what Amanda always does, put it in the 6 box. What do you even call that?
That's 7 innings live, baby. They keep me updated with what's going on.
I have never seen such a thing.
I don't even know. It's more than a quad box, but you're really living with a 6 box.
Sure is.
You know?
For you, it's really like a 7 box because you're calling a game with the 6 box up. Barnhart goes down on strikes, 2 away. Well, tonight it's do or die in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Is this not the best time of year for sports? Game 6 as the Sabres take on the Canadiens with Montreal up 3-2. Puck drops 8 Eastern on ABC. You can also stream the game on the ESPN app. You could 5 box in softball, and in the 6 box watch Stanley Cup playoffs. Pull the old Amanda Scarborough.
I just don't know if on the ESPN app you can do 6 boxes at once. We have it special for 7 innings live with the 6 boxes for 6 softball games. So, you know, softball's very special, so we do special things.
Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Deserves
Especially in the month
best.
of May. We do special things.
Yep. Sophia Knight's been special. Today 0 for 3, but boy, one of the best hitters in the SEC this year. It's always interesting, too, when transfer up a level, as Knight has done. Beginning her career at Boise State, junior out of Huntington Beach, California.
Thinking if, I mean, Virginia still obviously has 3 outs to work with here and get to go down until the end. But if the score were to hold, it's going to be a long day for Virginia. And thinking about how much Taylor Smith has pitched in this game, quick turnaround to wait a game and then play later on tonight. And you wonder, is she going to be available? I'm sure it's going to be all hands on deck for a potential elimination game. And again, of course, they still have a chance to score these 2 runs, but I quickly think about the pitching situations and a day like today where you play 2 games and have to have everybody ready.
The batter is called out for an illegally batted ball.
Yeah, so Sophia Knight, when she crossed over to slap, was called for being out of the box whenever there was bat-on-ball contact. When she slapped, her foot crossed over and was out of the box. So she's actually going to be out instead of this being a hit. So Virginia is out of the inning. They're down to their final 3 outs as we head to the top of the 7th inning, down by 2.
First order.
If you join us for the Women's College World Series beginning May 28th, you could take a stroll down the Bricktown Canal in downtown Oklahoma City, just a few miles outside of where they play the Women's College World Series at Devon Park. Begins at noon Eastern on ESPN, May 28th. Tennessee trying to get back to it. Carlin Pickens, who has pitched in the Women's College World Series, back in the circle here for Tennessee. pitching with a 2-run lead, 3 outs away from advancing into the winner's bracket. Regional final tomorrow. Virginia down to its final 3 outs. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Hoos. Jade Hilton, who's been a terrific home run hitter, will bat third. Can they get somebody aboard for her and make this interesting against Pickens, who's given up a homer already in today's relief appearance? Popped up off the bat of Green. Behind home, it is Morrison. 1 down. Loser of this game will fall into the elimination bracket and take on the winner of Northern Kentucky and Indiana later on tonight. Norse and Hoosiers will play about 35 minutes after the conclusion of this game over on ESPN Plus, playing for their postseason lives. Indiana coaching staff in attendance, scouting what they hope will be potentially 2 eventual opponents if they're able to beat Northern Kentucky and whoever they play in the elimination or would-be second elimination game tonight. Two-0 count to the freshman Griffith in the dirt ball 3. Top of the lineup looming for Virginia.
Griffith should be an all-out take right here with Jade Hilton on deck. Griffith just trying to find a way to get on. She's been so good at that. I mean, and I honestly might take again. I make Carlin Pickens try to find the strike zone again with the pressure being on her and not wanting to miss a pitch here.
Full count to Jaden Griffith, who has the all-time career home run leader for Virginia, waiting on deck down 2. Payoff pitch from Pickens. Well, the freshman has been terrific at the plate. At the bottom of the order this weekend, 3 hits already in the regional for Jaden Griffith. Spoils the 3-2.
Well, that would have been ball 4, but it's just so hard with 2 strikes. You want to protect the plate. You don't want to go down looking. You want to try to find a way to get on for your team, but you start to get in that protect mode with 2 strikes and then maybe chase like that last pitch.
Slow roller to third. Dodge, scoops, fires in time, 2 down.
It's one thing that Karen Weekly's going to be excited about is to see a 0 in the errors column on the scoreboard, something that Tennessee has struggled with defensively the last few games. Just kind of kicking the ball around more than usual, and they did at the beginning of the season.
Multiple errors for Tennessee in 3 of their last 4 games. Part of why Karen Weekly made some changes in the infield, including sliding Dodge over to third. First pitch is a strike to Jade Hilton.
Jade Hilton in her career has been really good at pitches down in the zone, drop balls to hit a home run. Changeup there. That changeup at 67 miles an hour, which is just crazy, but way out in front of that pitch because she's expecting 77, not 67.
4 of her last 5 hits have been homers. Virginia down to its final strike. Pickens gets a strikeout to send Tennessee to the regional final on Sunday.
Number 3 of the NCAA Knoxville Regional. The final score, the Tennessee Lady Volunteers 7, the Virginia Cavaliers 5.
Fifth straight regional final advancement for Tennessee. Carlin Pickens with her 6th save As we get to our Capital One rewarding performance, it is Emma Clark. A home run yesterday, Amanda, and another one today, and a crucial moment against Virginia.
Yeah, she has just been covering all parts of the zone, and she even reached base 3 times in today's game. The sophomore has been swinging free and swinging hard.
So another name has been etched on bracket lines. Indiana and Northern Kentucky will battle in our first elimination game. The winner of that will face Virginia. Tennessee will go home and rest and await the winner out of the elimination bracket for a regional championship tomorrow. For Amanda Scarborough, Matt Schumacher saying so long from Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. Let's get you to Florida State and Stetson